Iblaga bsomi sasitzer yemish jantish noba mazaya yishanresh murdadi adigeher yagabla adigeher shadzako shish yagabla naga course. Hello everyone, this is John Theamisha. Today is February the 3rd. This is our Circassian for beginners shadzakwa entry-level course. And we're just warming up with our little conversation exercises. So, Albert, what you did Savannah, Georgia, was shot?
Yeah, Savannah, so shot.
Ma what daka nova?
What do dakas? Blish degrees, gradios, is it?
Blish. 70 degrees?
Yeah.
Wow, gradios. A beqicher nablagat grade centigrade. Dos gradios centigrade. So about 20 degrees centigrade. For those of us not in North America.
Yeah, ungefähr.
ستخديز دابشة يجري دابشة ما هو يجري أبي وش أنه.
شرقم.
شرقم. Plan غروية.
جاء يعني قدي خجاء.
Plan غروية.
خلاصية.
خنشتا. Was the شعر دنا حشاش hotel حمرا زغوري ونم ديش.
ونم سيسين نبجو ونم.
خنشتا. ستطفئ. مليح.
سجانتي.
وداوشت.
خارزنا شيجي نخبش.
مزموش أنوبا.
سسماجت أبش خاطر.
ستشبا.
سسماجت.
أي. كوبخها.
السرچه کوبیتراش و يجي نخفو
سخوش
راش نتا
كوفيد را حمرا زغور نقاش
search COVID because the symptoms were the same, you know. That's why I think it is. I didn't get any test, but I didn't have to actually. So.
Vaktia kapkawa. Kawa ma vaktia.
Nta.
لا حمش كورتش وخوجنش. نتا.
حمجي أم.
الله حمجي أم. حيا.
ست.
وداوشت.
خايزنش تحم غبسو نوبة حمجي أما صوت تتقم ست وخايزنش
كونس سيغوابس do name you should teacher dawa with this nova do name you should teacher
ست
خوابا شقا وسقيسرا وش قيشكرا
حوا دغا قوبس أو طق شاش
كود شاش وخواباغر ست خود ويديش
اشتغلت
أبقرو سنوبشار Nova, did you understand what I asked you?
I don't understand, no.
So what's the word for hot?
Huaba.
So if I say huabaga, what do you think that means?
Something relating with warm.
So when we add aga or irra to the end of a adjective, most of the time it turns it into a noun. So huaba is hot as an adjective. Huabara would be the temperature. So noba y huabagar sit huada widej. Dapsha widej huabagar.
يعني شاش huabara. I really don't know. I think it's about 12 degrees Celsius, perhaps.
شقوت. أبخديز الشقم. سسيديشة نوبة نبلاغة minus بشقوت.
شقدد يعني.
Yeah, خد شقش سسيديشة. عاد شيكاغوس. Americans شاعر زمزة. Chicago راكم. Siberia.
ستم ديجي شقا.
No, غماكم خوابش تسيديش. أو شماكم شقش شقاش. دلعة
Sid Janti.
ودا وشت
Harzineš وبسو ودا وشيت.
سريس تمامش ولا جا نوبة ولا جا Did you work today?
انت
انت خواب جو ولا جا حمر الدق ولا جا
دقو
كودو ولا جاش
هوا نوبة
طب.
هوا
دق ولا
طب.
جاش
نوبة
خونش تمام ولا جغر ويقري حرة انت خنص ها خنصتا محمد
ست شانتي
ست خبر ويديش
خبر حرب سوري خازنش داخل وستوغد ودوشت
درد بسور ده خرزنش الله حميش كورتشا تاكش اش تديجا او خنص ايقم محمد
سلام جانتي
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وداوشت نوبة
ستمامش ودوش
سخنص وبصو وناغر داوشت ويادري ويانري داوشت
آخری دقو اور تمامش
تمام خنشتا فوصف الشبسورة همرق أبغدتو فوصف الشبسورة
I didn't get it.
ويانري فوصل together فشبسورة do you live together
Yes, we live together. I can't
ده ديغصو
ديغوسو
الشبسو
شبسو
ويانري أدي قبض شبسة لفرة
سيانر أدقابزج ميغوشا هوا سياتا
ست لفرقم
doesn't speak.
ززمزة وري ويانري فبساثرة أدي قبض شا
Sometimes.
ززمزة خونشتا ويانم سلام سويكج
عليكم السلام.
أيوة لالينا ست بشقر
سفشزنش سنوبة خلصوجش again.
Аргору. Еще по-русски, еще. Аргору. What's it? Sit ходит хил, абиц арсет.
Jack London, or is it John London? Jack London.
Yeah, سري Jack London سيجروح. Sit ходит خبر.
I forgot what the story itself is called. It's about a dog.
White
Wild
Ranger.
Sorry?
White Fang. Ara. White Fang.
Call to the Wild. I think it is about a dog.
Yeah.
That's a full book. Yeah.
That's
Jack London's a good author. What was Shajara? Mr. ورسبزرة حمر ينجلبزرة ويجرة ينجلبزرة خونشتا ويادري سلام سويكج
وعليكم السلام.
أليا
سلام جانتي.
وعليكم سلام. ستكو دشكن بشكاوة نوبة حنت خوبس حمرة جد
نوبة صلاة شخا
صلاة بشكاش. Okay. زغور بروتين زخاتلو حمرا خمتو
حمدتو
خمتو صلاد يزاقوا لزري خمتو
انت زمان سياقم
زمان ويعاقم وي اوستمي زغور بروتين زخات بشكن خويش بشقه
أراش
عراش و وينبم يزخوا حمرا يجري ومجاثره
طقس مشغلة
ومجاثره
ما after this class I will eat. How do I say that? مكلاسم نوج
يجري سكنوش
يجرس خنش.
على حمجي برهان
سلام جانتي
وعليكم السلام برمن يا خبار ستخد نوبة
وش قوش
وش قوش
بريمن
تمامش ستكو ديز لاندرا وابوش انو
I didn't get that.
ستكو ديز لاندرا ابوش انو. How long will you be there?
A month.
زمازم نوج ودنا وقونو شرقم so you just go where they send you, right?
Yeah, they let us know hopefully beforehand,
and then you shoot the people and come back.
I don't do that.
It's a different job. Sorry, different job. Different guy, different class. Yeah. Janok.
Janti?
What dawashit si qashtuk? Dawashit.
What dawashit?
Sarisa kharzinash. Wiyader dana sha'a.
Did you say where is my father? Yeah, it's like after you got your Zeugnis, where your grades for the whole year are, you talk, your parents talk with the teachers to discuss about the notes.
Okay. Arashi, he's speaking with your teacher right now.
Yes.
Siyader siyagajakum yosu mapsasha.
Siyada.
You can say siyadra. Siyagajakwara. Zopsasha. They are speaking with each other. Khonsta. Wiyader ka kono noba. Maklasem ko kono wiyada noba. Is your father going to come to the class today?
I think so. I don't know how long it takes.
We're Khonsta deplins. We'll see. Nasiba.
Selamun aleyküm.
Wa alaikum salam. What's up, sir?
Seri ofum skakwajo. Just.
Zagwarab shkanoba.
Nepe sishkas oist ama sishkagar dawab. Sidagar.
Sitch hatchami. With a manner mashat, who guzava.
Are saguzar.
Sitch hatchami. Sit was a guzaver.
Çerap bir saat 4'üm tecest ya. Klasım zazakos zamanım just kakojin sa ama khurab.
Nakhos. Allah hamji am klasım nuj nakhfu وش خفنوش.
İnşallah.
Nilgun. What's lafra?
Nita, I have some video issues today.
Sorry. Guzava. Ochkum. Yagachinkum.
Tprs بسومي.
Worry we بشحش حفوة. وست خبر ويديج نلقن.
نوبة how can I say I went to the hospital?
Smajashim.
And smajashim squash.
I sitim shhatcha.
I think an operation. I need an operation.
Well, I hope everything turns out okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really do. I hope everything turns out
sure.
okay.
Hope so.
Wa yajiri what a sibzara? Wa yajiri what a sibza wajira?
Hawa Egyptu ورسبزة it stopped. How can I say?
See what a sibza class her? Auva ash.
Awu ash.
Auva ash.
Awu ash.
Auva ash. Kunst. Yajiri we class her? Shadzajano.
Means?
Are they going to start again?
Yes. In March, I think.
In March. That's a long time. What would a sibzachaf or whoopsashafara?
Say would a sibzache tek subsasha.
Tak whoopsashafara. Sit nakhaf. We adigabza. Hamra we would a sibza.
Adigabza.
Adigabza. Dawich. Yagajakwa azawiash. You have a very skilled
You're right.
teacher.
You're right. Thanks to you.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Kirill.
Salam.
Walaikum salam. What dawa shit yaqash?
Kharzinas.
Kharzinas. What dana was sha'a?
I am in the city.
وقالم ودس. قالم ودس. وست شر أبي. أبي يديج وست شر. What are you doing there?
Shopping.
Okay. Sit up shukunu wuhwe. What do you want to buy?
I have already bought some food and some pet toilet.
Okay. Cool. Well, thank you for joining.
Yeah, it's difficult for them.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
sure.
getting on the bus.
Okay, very good.
Thank
you. Dua.
Sit, Janti.
What that was shit?
Harzine. Nobadaha.
We shubhum yitzarsit.
You're asking for my sister's name, right? Okay. Abitzer. If I have more than one, would I still say Abitzer on all of them, or?
So how many do you have?
4.
4. My God, you have that many sisters. Wow.
Yeah.
You have any brothers?
I do, but he passed away when he was 20 years old.
Sorry to hear that. So you would say, so in Circassian, we have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every language has numbers.
Okay.
In Circassian, we do something a little weird. For numbers 2 through 10, we do not say, I have 1 sister, 2. You can say, I have 1 sister. Sa, z, shuph, si, ash. This is acceptable.
Okay.
The number for 2 is o. The number for 3 is sh. The number for 4 is p.
Okay.
But you would not say, I have 4 sisters. What you would do is you take that p, you turn it into a suffix and you add it to the sisters. So it's almost like saying, I have sisters 4-ish, right? That's kind of how it works. So what you say is, if you say, I have sister, we didn't say how many yet, but we know it's not 1. Sa, shuph.
Sa shukr.
Shopwip.
Sa shukr.
Shopwip.
Okay.
Ch.
Ch.
So now I say, what is your sister's name? Because I don't know how many you have. And you say, whoa, hang on. Get it right, Janti. I got 4 sisters. First of all, okay. Sa shopwip ch.
Sa shukr. Ch.
And then you would say, instead of ab y, if you had 1, you'd say ab yitzar, right? We say ya.
Yeah.
Means there. Ya. And the word for name is tsa. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But we now have to make it plural because you have 4 of them. So we say ya tsacher.
Ya tsacher.
And then you could tell me their names. So putting it all together, sa shopwip ch. Ya tsacher. Boom, boom, boom, boom, boom.
Okay. Sa shopwip. Yatser.
Ch.
Shesh. Yatser. You said Yatser.
Yatsacher.
Yatser. Nada.
Nada.
Dina.
Dina.
Maryam.
Maryam.
Ahlam.
Ahla. We shipchur dawa shitcha.
How are they doing? Tamamsh.
Tamamsh. Tamamsh. Tamama tamamsh.
I forgot how to say 2.
Shiphuit.
Shiphuit. Florida. Shesh.
How much out of Florida? Why are you not in Florida?
I love New Jersey.
Wow, you and Albert.
I'd rather stay here.
Really?
Yeah, they wanted to move to Florida because they wanted to be somewhere where the weather is warm.
Right. Right.
And they're doing like they want to become fitness trainers. So that's something.
Well, they're following their dreams. You and Albert, the We Love New Jersey contingent. So
yeah.
Well, it depends on the time of year.
Yeah. No, I know it depends on the time. I lived in New Jersey for 35 years. It was 35 years too much. Okay.
So you don't
What's that? Say again.
You don't miss.
Not at all. You couldn't pay me to move back.
Oh, I see.
You couldn't
Chicago,
pay me to move back.
I guess.
I'll take it offline, but it's less expensive here. The people are nicer. Houses are affordable. You know, a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Sina. What shit this shop?
Sisi tamamsh wipso dawashit.
Sarisa tamamsh. Wiyadri dawashitcha.
Sit tamamsh.
Wiyadim yitzar sitsina.
So you asked my sister's name.
We add ata. Dein Vater.
Oh, Yitzer Deniz.
Abi yitzar Deniz. Wiyanam yitzar sit.
Ari tamamsh.
Mama yitzar sit. What's your mother's name?
Yes, I'm sorry. Aritzer Aisha.
Aisha, Situt Adacha. What a beautiful name. What a beautiful name. And Sina, in this class, we don't say sorry. There's no reason to be sorry. Everybody who's trying, we're all making progress to learning. So don't worry about saying sorry. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Wiyanamra, salam swekij. So do you understand what I said to you?
Yes, so yeah, so selam.
Say,
I give them from you.
yes, yes. And so whenever, this is a very common, very, very common thing that Circassians say. Selam squekij. And it's not religious. Some people, they're religious and they say this. Some people, they're not religious and they say this. Okay. Salam squekij, tell them I say hello. And anytime we hear this, if it's for one person, for 10 people, it doesn't matter. We always, always, always say, wa alaikum salam.
Okay.
So, Sina.
Sit.
Wiyadimra, salam squekij.
How do I say I do?
You say wa alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. If I say wiyadim salam squekij, wa alaikum salam. Wiyanam salam squekij, wa alaikum salam. Anybody, your mother, your father, your grandparents, your friends, your sister, your brother, salam squekij. What do we always say, Sina?
Alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum salam. I think everyone here knows how to say wa alaikum salam. Easy, easy, easy, easy. Okay, everybody warmed up. The brain is flexible. We're not going to get any injuries today. The tongue is flexible. No injuries with the tongue. All right, let's, we're going to do some experiments today. Okay, we're going to do some experiments today. I did this with the other class, and I did not at all get the results I thought I was going to get. So it'll be interesting to see how things go here today. Let me pull up the informatia. Give me a moment. Aha. Okay, all right. Okay, share screen. All right. Everybody can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. I see all of you. I see, is this all of you? Yes, this is all. One, two, three, four. That's all of you. Okay. Who in this class has zero comfort with the Circassian alphabet? Is there anybody who has zero knowledge of Adigabza alphabet? Everybody has some knowledge. Okay, Dua, you have some knowledge of the alphabet?
Yeah, I would say like half of the alphabets, I'm aware of them. Some of them, I would have to go back to my notes. So it depends which alphabets they are.
Sure, sure. Okay, okay. So we're going to do a little experiment today. And what we're going to do, we're going to try three different, is it three? We're going to try, yeah. So we're going to try two different things. This is the harder end, and then we're going to go on an easier end, and I'm going to ask you guys which one you guys like better, okay? So right now, I'm going to read you this story. If you want to practice the pronunciation or reading, turn off your microphone and practice. So, but right now, this is mostly about listening, okay? So just listen. If you want to speak it, if you want to practice, you can, but turn off your microphone for just a minute, and I'm going to go through this, okay? It's okay if you don't understand something. That's part of this whole process, all right? So, Sabinara wasmanara nalshich zsharapsav. Akhir zadesh zashupch. Yichi qizdakhwash. Sabina tkedetksh. Wasman ديتكتيف يتخ. آخر حشاشم شطصحا قديش. ماخر خوابش يتشي دغبس. Okay, I'm going to do one more time. Sabinera was manera na shich ze sharapsau. Acher ze delch ze shopsh yichi ze dakhwash. Sabina tkedetch. Wasman detective yetch. Acher hashasham shattasha قديش. Makhur khwabash yichi deraps. Okay, so open up your microphones. What's this little story about? What are we talking about here?
Sabina and Wasman.
Sabina and Wasman, yeah. What about them?
They are
They live in Nalchik.
They're staying in Nalchik. Mehmet, what were you saying?
Are they playing together?
They are doing something together, but not playing.
They have rest together.
They what?
Getting rest. Getting rest.
They were
They have
raised
rest.
together. They were raised together. They were raised together. Okay. Remember, where were you raised? Where did you grow up? Akhir qizdakhwash. They grew up together. Okay. What else is going on here? Aliyah, what do you think is going on here?
I think they're writing.
One of them writes. One of them writes.
The other
Actually,
one-
both. Yeah, you could say both of them write. This is correct. Dua, what do you think? What additional information do you think is happening here?
I understood that day somehow like the day is a lovely day for them. Something like, yeah.
Yeah, that's very astute. Haya, any additional information?
The two of them are siblings.
Yep.
And they're staying in a hotel.
Yep.
And they basically said everything else.
Okay, so let's go through it again. And now I'm going to give you guys what's called a gloss translation. I'm going to break down every piece of every word so you understand everything. Okay. So Sabina is Sabina. Ra, Sabina and. Wasman is Wasman. Ra, Sabina and Wasman and. This is how we say it in Adigabza. We always put and between after everything. Okay. Sabinara, Wasmanara, Sabina and Wasman and. That's how we say it. Nalshich, Nalchik.
Vacation. Is that vacation, holiday, something like that?
Yes. So, Rapsauch, Rapsauch, relaxing.
Relaxing, yeah.
Relaxing. Z, they are relaxing. Sha, where they are relaxing at a place.
In Nalchik.
Zisha Rapsauch, they are relaxing or they are on vacation. It's the same. In Circassian, it's the same. Okay, so you might, some of us may have heard our parents or friends, zarapsauch, zarapsauch, relax, zarapsauch. So z, it means it's a reflexive verb. I don't know why relaxing is a reflexive verb, but in Circassian, it's a reflexive verb. So that's what this z means. So if I was telling you relax, I'd say zarapsauch, zarapsauch, right? But if I tell you relax in Nalchik, Nalshich zisharapsauch is what I would say. Now here, if I told you to relax in Nalchik, zishirapsauch, but these are two people, it's more than one. So it's zisharapsauch. So this z is a reflexive prefix. Sh shows a location. Because it's sha, instead of sh, it shows there's multiple people at this location. Rapsauch means to, rapsuchun is the infinitive form. It means to relax. So my son, this week, he's doing online school because of COVID here in Chicago. It's very stressful to do online all the time. So they give them breaks. So between the breaks, I check on him. My wife checks on him. Zarapsauch, zarapsauch, Westman, zarapsauch. We always tell him that. Zarapsauch, relax, take a break. Okay. So Sabinra, Westmanra, nalshich, zasharapsauch. Super clear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Acher, they. Delch is the brother of a girl. Shupch is sister for anybody. It's sister for anybody. When we say zadelch, it shows that there's a relationship. Okay, so we could say Westman delch. Westman is a brother. But if we say that Westman is a brother to Sabina, we are showing there's a relationship. That's why we say zadelch. And then also, Sabina is a sister. This is true, right? Dua is a sister, but Dua is not a sister to Westman. So we could say Dua shupch, she's a sister. This is factually correct. It's grammatically correct. But we could not say Duara Westmanra zadelch zashupch. We cannot say this because there's no relationship between them of being brother and sister. Okay, so we say zadelch, they are brother and sister. Zadelch, zashupch, and then we add sh because we're making a statement. Okay, yichi and hua, it happened. Hua, it happened. Hun, it's happening. Hua, it happened. Huash, we just add that to show it's past tense. Okay. The huash, they did it. Something happened together with them. Because the huash, we just put this together. They happened in the past. They happened in the past. They grew up together. Okay. So sit hua noba, what happened today? Sit hua noba, what took place today? Maybe we've heard these phrases as Circassians. Sit hunu shade, what is going to happen tomorrow? Okay. So this is the huash, right? The huash, something happened, the huash. And then when we put this is the together, something happened with them together. And this is how we say they grew up together. So in other classes, when I said, Dana waqashahwa, Dana, where, wu, you, q, it's a prefix, it means it's happening to you. Dana waq, sh, where did it happen? Dana waqashahwa, where did you happen? Where did you grow up? Okay, so this is how we say they did it together. Sabina, we know it's Sabina's name. Tche. Tche. Tche means writing. Tchidda, written history. Tchidda is written history. Okay. This at the end also means writing. So tchidda, written history. Writer of written history. We're making a statement. Writer of written history. Historian. Historian. A writer of written history. Historian.
My colleague.
Your college.
Yeah.
Westman is Westman. Detective. Detective. Detective. Yet. So we see this again. Writes. Yet. He writes. What does he write? Detective. So, Aliyah, I have other native Russian speakers in my other section. I don't know in Russian if you would say detective roman, but in Circassian, we would just say detective. He writes detective novels. It's understood. We don't use the word novel, roman, but it's understood that he's writing detective novels, detective stories, things like this.
I think even in Russian, you don't have to add roman. You can just say detective.
Yeah, and I'm sure this comes from Russian, detective. I don't think Circassians without a written language wrote detective novels 100 years ago. So we probably borrowed that same practice, okay? Akhir, we know akhir, they, akhir, okay? Hasha, hasha. What's hasha?
Guest.
Guest, hasha. Hasha is guest. Hashash, place of guest. Hashash, place of guest.
Guest house.
The. Because we can't say hashashim. We can't say hashashim, right? There's a vowel in there. To connect these two consonants, we need a vowel. So hashashim, place of guest, guest house, hotel. Hotel. So now this word can be used in two different ways. Many people will have a living room in their home, and they will also refer to that as hashash. I'm sure, yeah, I see Tala, you're probably thinking maybe your mother, right?
Yeah,
so,
my uncle has built a new hashish.
Yep.
When he gets the guests, he invite to them.
Yep.
Come here, get in the hashish.
Yeah, yeah. So this word is very flexible. This word can mean like a guest area of your house. It could be a guest room of your house. Some Circassian families, even if they're not wealthy, they might have a separate small house on their property just for guests. This is not uncommon. Even if you're poor in a village, you might still have a one-room house just for guests. And in the modern era, it can also mean hotel. We can also say hotel, but I'm trying to speak clean as possible. Okay.
I will send a picture if you want, John.
Yeah, please do. Please do. It would be very fun to see.
John T.
Yes.
Worship is also a hotel?
No, Washipa is sleeping place or bedroom.
A bedroom, okay.
And then what is it? What is gwash pesh?
Gwash pesh. Gwash. Gwash pesh. It's a room, but gwash. When I hear gwash pesh, like gwash means to share. Gwashin means to share. There also is a word root in there of like straw, like a mattress straw, which is what our mattresses used to be made out of. I've never heard that word, but I'm not a native speaker. In what context have you heard that word?
In my childhood, we had this house and there was a separate building with a single room. I think no one lived there, but sometimes someone could just stay over there. So we would call it gwash pesh.
Yeah. Sharing room. Shared room. Yeah. That's probably an example of something that only a native speaker would come into contact with, because those days, now everybody's in Nalchik building apartments. Nobody's building, houses in the village anymore. But that's a nice word. That's a nice word. Thanks for sharing it. So in here now, akhir hashashim shatasha. Okay. We all heard our mother and father, right? So
Sure.
what does tus mean?
Sit.
Sit. Sit down and shut your mouth. Okay, tasha, it happened. Okay. Sa can mean a couple different things. Sometimes it can mean new, or it can mean that you are entering. Here it means you are entering. Okay, so entered, entered and sat down. What do you do when you go to the hotel? You check in.
Check in, yes.
You check in. So the way we say check in, you enter and sit down. شتصحى. حششم شتصحى. قديش. It just happened now. It just happened now. So my son, he wakes up, you know, right now he's doing online school. His online school starts at 8. He wakes up at 7:58. He's like, I want more sleep, Baba. Leave me alone. I want more sleep. And then he's like, he's going like this. Oh, what's man? What's Baba I just woke up. I woke up. I woke up. It just happened now. Baba. So that's what he says. Mahwa, day. Mahwar, the day. Huaba, hot.
Hot.
Huabash, I'm making a statement. Okay. Yichi, and.
Sunny.
Dera is sun. Deraps is sunshiny.
Oh, okay.
Sunny, sunshiny. I say sunshiny because this dera is sun. Okay. Dera hopes. Dera hopes. The sun is shining. Hopes means to shine only for the sun. Dera hopes. So when we say deraps, it's a sunshiny day.
Can we say, can we use drabzi wash?
Drabze, so
is it something different?
It's correct, yes. So the word there is bzi. Bzi is a ray of light. So this would be like saying, you know, there's lots of rays of light. It's radiant. But it's not like, that sounds very formal in English. Drabzi, drabze, this is very common speech in Circassian. It's not formal. It's everyday speech. Radiant is not everyday speech in English, but derabze, derabzi, this is very common speech in Circassian. Okay.
Could that also mean sit out in the sun?
Maybe, I don't know. I've never heard it that way. What I've heard is dirum yarajan, to get a suntan or to be baked in the sun. So now that we've understood every single little piece, okay, I'll give you a smooth, not a gloss translation, a rough translation. Sabina and Westman are relaxing in Nalchik. Sabina and Westman are on vacation in Nalchik. Same. Acher zadelch zashupch. They are brother and sister. Yichi and Qzedachwash. They grew up together. Sabina tkedetch. Sabina is a writer of history. Sabina is a historian. Westman, detective yetch. Westman writes detective novels. Acher hashashim shatasha. They just now checked into a hotel room. The day is warm. The day is hot. Warm, hot, same. Yichi deraps, and it's a sunshiny day. Last time, only Circassian. Sabinera Westmanera nalshich zasharapsau. Acher zadelch. Zashupch, Yichi, Qzedachwash. Sabina tkedetch, Westman, detective yetch. Acher hashasham shattashaq wadish. Makur huabash, Yichi, deraps. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you understand the story?
Right now, pretty good.
10. Everyone's got to be at a 10, right? Okay, so this is the difference between input and comprehensible input. The first time when I just read it to you and you picked up 1 or 2 words, that's how most people teach languages. Oh, you didn't understand? Sucks to be you. let's move on to the next, right? The way that I did it though, we went through that 5 or 6 times. I kept stopping, breaking everything down, putting it back together, breaking it apart, putting it together, breaking it apart, putting it together. And now you guys understand every piece of this story. There is zero ambiguity, zero ambiguity. Okay. Now we're going to spend 5 or 6 minutes on this. We're going to play with this a little bit. Albert.
Yeah, Janti.
خط زغب سخور خط زغب سخور
سبينرا وسمانرا زغب سخ.
انت سبينرا وسمانرا زغب سخ. حيا دنا وسمانرا سبينرا زشاغب سخ.
سبينرا وسمانرا نالشتش زشاغب سخ.
هج سبينرا وسمانرا نالشتش زشاغب سخ. دلعة خط نالشتش زشاغب سخور. خط
Osman and Sabine.
وسمانرا سبينرا هج وسمانرا سبينرا نالشتش زشاغب سخ. هج محمد.
Yes, sir.
ست وسمانرا سبينرا ياسرا.
Sabinere took that and Osmanre detective.
Pej. This is who they are and it's what they do. And this is correct answer. I was looking for what are they doing? So we're still just on this first sentence. So sit wasmanra sabinra yasra.
They are brothers and sisters, you asked, right?
No, I'm asking, what are they doing? So sit what? Sit sabinra wasmanra yasra. What are they doing? What are they doing? And you would tell me they are?
Zisha
Rapsau. Now shitch. Zisha Rapsau. Burhan.
Sit.
Wasmanra sabinra zanabjaw.
Osmanre Sabinre Zedjelch ze Shub.
Paj. Zanabjawkum. Zedelch ze shubs. Janok.
Sit.
Wasman shub.
Wasman Detective Yetch.
Paj. Wasman Detective Yetch. Nasiba.
Sit.
Sabina Delch.
How Sabiner Osmani Shubh.
Was Paj. Sabina Wasman Yeshubs. Dua.
Sit.
Wasmanra Sabinra Nalshich Sha'a.
Inta Wasmanara Sabinara Nalchich vacationing in Nalchik, but I'm not sure how to pronounce vacationing.
Zisharabsau.
Zisharabsau.
Haj Zisharabsau. Dana Dua. Dana Wasmanra Sabinra Zisharabsahur. Dana.
The hotel, but
how a Nalshich?
In Nalchik, in the hotel.
Nalshichim, Nalshich Hashashim Dej. Dua.
Sit.
What Dana was Sha'a?
Sa winner sishash.
We winner Dana Sha'a. We winner New Jersey Sha'a. Hamra Nalshich Sha'a.
Sa winner New Jersey sishash.
We winner New Jersey Sha'a. Wasmanra Sabinra New Jersey Sha'a.
Hawa Wasmanra Sabinra Chicago شقة.
Yeah, my babies. Yes, yes, correct. Good. Muhammad.
انت
واسمان تكدتش.
هوا Sabine تخدتش Osman
Sabina. Osman
detective
detective يتش. Pej.
Pej.
Aliyah.
انت
واسمان detective يجرى.
هو أب ار ديتكتيف يتخ.
detective يتش. انت نلقون.
ست جانتي
دنا واسمان سابين شتصحى.
آخر حشاشم شتصحى
آخر حشاشم شتصحاش. قديش مليح.
سجانتي
سابينرا واسمانرا دنا شتصحى.
سبنيرا وسمندرا حشاشم شتصحاش.
هاج كيريل. واسمانرا سابينرا ونم شتصحى. حمرا حشاشم شتصحى.
Sabindra واسمندرا حشاشم شتصحى.
هاج سابينرا واسمانرا حشاشم شتصحاش. سينا ماخور خواب حمرا ماخور شقة.
ماهور هابا
ماخور خوابش. بج برهان براك. Burak is not able to speak. That's okay. So who wants to go the last one? One more question. Who wants one more question? Albert.
Hey.
Wash qaishkara hamra dirabs.
Wash qaishkam dirabs.
Dirabs. Okay. So what we did here, we took, this is a very simple story. This is not, it may feel a little overwhelming, but the vocabulary here is very simple. The grammatical structure is not simple, but it's simplified. It's simplified because Circassian grammar is a little complex. Let's be honest. Can't lie about that. We went through, no problem, Burak, no problem if you can't talk. I just saw that in the group chat. So we went through everything, we broke it down, and then once you understood it, we used traditional TPRS, right? And we went through each sentence. Is it this? Is it this? Is this true? Is this false? Is it this doing it? Is it that doing it? Okay. So this is the same method, TPRS, but we're using more advanced vocabulary. We're using what we call non-sheltered vocabulary. This is how native speakers would speak. Okay. So I just want to, everybody open up your microphones. I just want to hear, what do we think about this approach? Is it scary? Is it intimidating? Is it fun? I want honest feedback. I don't care. Don't worry about hurting my feelings. How do people feel about this type of lesson?
Very, very helpful.
Very helpful.
I agree. Yes, it's very fun and helpful.
Just helpful.
Yeah, very good.
But unless we miss, I+1, actually, I mean, to connect the words with some other meaningful things and make connections between them. So then it would be better to understand and better to catch new meanings and new words. So I think with this method, it's going better.
Okay. Who does not like this method? Who thinks this is too much, too slow, too overwhelming? Nobody? Okay. Dua, how did you feel about this approach?
I think it was very helpful. And one of the things that I liked about it is the whole point is we want to learn how to have conversations and communicate in a diga. So I think if we do more of this, we'll eventually get the hang of it, how to put sentences together, how to put the verbs in the right places, the nouns in the right sentences, because one of the issues I'm having here, like I know a lot of words in a digabsa, but I'm not able to put them in the right order when it comes to making sentences. So I think this will be really helpful down the road.
Okay. Okay. Haya, how does this compare? I'm curious, how does this compare? And how does what we did in the last class compare to the way that they would teach you in the Prince Hamza school?
This is a very embarrassing question, if I'm being honest.
Hang on, I'm going to pause the video. Hang on. She said everything nice and beautiful, all our Jordanian friends. So over the last 20 or 30 years, there's been advancements in applied linguistics, which is all the research we're using. Not linguistics like why do these people in Papua New Guinea use this sound and people in Africa use the same sound? That's linguistics too. Applied linguistics is how people learn. So Stephen Krashen, probably in the late 60s, early 70s, he started doing some research. And he's a linguist out of University of Southern California. I've met him once. Then there's Paul Nation, who's out of New Zealand. He's another very well-known, well-documented linguist in the field. And I've emailed with him a few times. I've asked him questions. Very nice guy. He just responded to me right off the bat. And then the most recent guy is a guy named Blaine Ray, who's the originator of TPRS as we know it today. And I know Blaine. I've had classes with him. I go into classes with his son and Craig, the guy who runs TPRS books and stuff like that. So I have personal interactions with these people, and I've read all their published literature and stuff like that. And the approach that they all take is you can spend a lot of time and money building a textbook with all these verb conjugation tables and all this reference material. And that's like studying engineering to try to learn how to ride a bike. Or you can just sit on the bike and ride the bike. And so the approach that they all take is just using comprehensible input. So stories that we understand and stories that are complex enough that we learn, but not so complex that we feel overwhelmed, right? And if you do that, it's a lot cheaper because instead of building this big textbook that takes thousands of dollars and many years, you just find interesting stories that are easy and then harder and harder and harder. Now, the problem with Circassian is we don't have lots of stories. And a lot of the writers who write Circassian say, I will show everyone how good I am. And they make it super complex because they want to show off. So we don't have lots of stories like this. So this one, I wrote this story. I have a lot of content that is proprietary that nobody can assert copyright control. And it's designed, they're all modified based on English stories. So they're culturally adapted. They're linguistically adapted. They're grammatically adapted to simplify them as much as possible. But this is actually a beginner story from an A1 graded reader book that I bought. I read it in Russian, learned the English, then translated it to Circassian. So, okay, so that's one end of the spectrum. Now we're going to try to go back to a simpler, more basic thing. So give me a second here. Let me find this. Where did we go? Oh,
How can we say take your time in Circassian?
You say Muguzava. Don't worry. Muguzava.
Muguzava. Okay.
Okay. So, all right, everyone can see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to go on the other end of the spectrum. Everybody open up your mics. Okay. Class. Hey, you guys are all beaten up from that last, hey, come on, I need some energy here. Come on, class. Marsalas. Marsalas. Shalem Yitzar Narch. Shalem Yitzar Narch. Albert.
يا جانتي
Shalem Yitzar Sit.
أبي يسر النارج.
Narch. Haya.
انت ست.
Narch ala hamra khajabs.
نار تشالش.
Narch alash. Dal'a.
ست جانتي
Haya khajabs hamra ala.
حيا في الجبس
Haya khajabs. Mahmad.
Yes, sir.
Khat khajabzer.
Haya.
Haya khajabs. Haya khajabs. انت Aliyah.
ست.
Shalem Yitzar Janti hamra nart.
شعلم يتسر نارش.
Pej. Shalem Yitzar narch. Class. Ar nashich sha'ash. Nart nashich sha'ash. Shaler nashich sha'ash. Ar nashich sha'ash. Burhan. Burhan.
Oh, sit.
Nart dana sha'a.
Tert Arnal Shitchash.
Janok.
Sit.
Chat nashik sha'a.
Ar nalshit she'ash.
انت خد ار خد ار
Nart.
نارت نار بج ار نارت نسبة
ست.
نارت خجابز حمرش أعلى
نارت تشالة.
نارتش أعلش محمد
معلش.
جانتي
خجابزر ناشت شقة
هوا شالر نالشيتش شاش
أعلر ناشت شقاش بج بج بج class نارت خبرش سياش I have news خبرش سياش نارت قزفوا يأش يا ألح يا ألح يا ألح نارت قزفوا يأش قزفوا يأش قزفوا so what's good
Problem is you.
heart
Go heart, yes.
Velch is an injury. Velch is an injury. Guazava. What is guazava?
An injury to the heart?
Be anxious, to have a panic attack. Guazava haya. Guazava. Don't be worried. Don't be anxious. So guazava is to be anxious. Guazavawa is to have anxiety in your heart. It's a problem. It's a problem. Okay, so class. Start with a vowel yes. Ya alih, ya alih, ya alih, ya alih. Nilgun.
Sit.
What was a vowel wi'a?
Ita se guzavaro siash.
Ya alih. Sit with guzavawar.
I need I'm gonna how can I say I need an operation. That's why.
Operatia sehuish. That's how you would say operatia sehuish.
Again, say again, please.
Operatia sehuish.
Sehuish.
Operatia sehuish. Melich.
Said Shanti.
Chat guzavawi'a.
Nart guzavawi'ash.
Nart guzavawi'ash. What guzavawi'a?
Nita sari guzavawi'ash.
Sit with guzavawar.
Sesi smajish.
What was smajish? Nart smaja.
Hawa.
Nart smajakum. Hawa.
Smajakum.
Class. Nart guzavawi'ash. Sich hacha. Nart psa'af خويش هوا نار بسقف يقم اي ستو بلح نار بسقف يقم
نار بسقف
يقم دعاء.
Sit.
وبسقف وقا.
You're asking if I have a problem, right?
سقف.
Oh, okay.
سقف.
Do I use Hawa?
وبسقف وقاكم.
Whoops, if doesn't have juice.
Okay. Kirill.
Ted.
نارت بسقف يقا.
نارت بسقف يقاكم.
يقاكم. حوا. سينا. وبسقف وقا.
How not yeah.
هاج. نارت بسقف يقاكم. وسينا. وبسقف وقا.
How يأكم.
سبسقف سيقاكم. سبسقف سيقاكم. So now I'm going to ask Albert a question. He may understand. Some of you may understand. Some of you may not. Albert.
ايه جانتي؟
خد بسقفر يمقورة. خد بسقف يمقورة.
Doesn't want.
Who does not have?
Okay.
Who does not have? So in Circassian, the way that we do negation, there's two ways to do negation. Ya'aqam, he does not have it. Ya'aqam, he does not have it. Yimu'ura, Khat yimu'ura, who does not have it. So the two ways to do negation, we add qim to the end. The other way is we add m somewhere in the beginning. Khat yimu'ura, who doesn't have it? Khat yimu'ura. Now, who knows how to say, speak to me? Okay, so speak to me, talk to me. Two words, both correct. Okay, how do I say I'm not speaking? I'm not speaking, I'm not saying. Now, how do we say don't speak to me? Right? So, psatha, talk. So psatha, I am speaking. Sipsatha, I am not speaking. Don't speak to me. See how we put that m in there? We put that m in there. So when we're asking a question about who's not doing it, or I'm telling you don't do it, we use that m. Okay. Now, I'm not going to ask you to remember that. I only want you to understand it. So when I ask you, what am I asking? Tell me in English.
Who doesn't have what? Can you repeat the question? Who doesn't have juice?
Who does not have the juice? Okay, correct. So, Albert.
Can you also say yaqam?
Yaqam means he does not have it. Okay. That's what's on the screen. Nart psa'af yaqam.
Oh, that's right there. Oh, never mind.
But if I'm asking you, who does not have, I'm asking a question. I'm not making a statement. So I have to say, khat, who, psa'af, juice, yimu'ura, who does not have the juice?
Nart psa'af yaqam.
Nart psa'af yaqam. Arash, nart psa'af yaqam. Class. Nart psa'af wish. Nart psa'af wish. Hiya. What psa'af wukhwe? Melich.
Sit.
What COVID wukhwe? Uhwekum COVID. Kirill.
Said.
What? $1 billion uhwe.
Nta $1 billion huish.
$30 billion sahwis. Okay. So we got 3 minutes left, and then I got to drop because it's a work day for me.
Oh, this went quick.
My calendar and make sure. Yeah, I got to join. So we've had, so there's three styles. Let me stop the share. Whoops. Come on, it's full screen. Okay. So far, we've had 3 styles of TPRS. We've had the style that I've been using, where we don't go fast through the story because we go deep into the verbs. Okay, let's call that method A. And then there's what we just did now. I do not go deep into the verbs, but I go fast through the story. Right? Let's call that method B. And then there's method C, which we did a couple of minutes ago, where it's a story, I break it down for you, we go really in depth, what do every single pieces mean, and then I ask you questions about the story, using vocabulary in the story to get you to think about the story, to get you to think in Circassian, okay? So A is what we've been doing for most of this course so far. We go deep into the verbs. B, we do not go deep in the verbs, but we go sentence by sentence through a very simple story. C, we have a little bit more of an in-depth story. We really dive into it. It's more complex, but then I ask you TPRS questions about the content of that story, limiting the vocabulary only to that story. So between A, who thinks A, which is most of what we've been doing, who likes that approach more? Put up your hands.
Janti, I think it depends on the complexity of the sentence.
It depends on the complexity of the sentence. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Like the first little story you went through I thought it was pretty complex, and the way you broke it down was very, very helpful. And with the shorter sentences, just a few words, I think it was pretty simple. Didn't need to dive into it that much.
Okay. Who has it? But what's your preference? What's your preference between A, B, and C?
C.
C.
Yeah.
I think all of them would be absolutely perfect to have all of them. I don't know, at least for me, I'm not a neurologist, but I feel like in your brain, somehow there is some kind of a map of a language that comes up because of these different approaches. And then you catch the language or the structure of the language much easier, like combining all these methods. So I wouldn't vote for any because I prefer all of them.
That's exactly what I said.
I hear what you're saying.
Neither can I.
Okay.
A, B, C.
A, B, C. All of the above.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't want fruits or vegetables or meats. I want fruits and vegetables and meat. Right? That's what I'm hearing. Okay. Very good. Very good. All right, guys. We got 1 minute before I have to bounce. Any final questions, comments, feedback?
Oh, what you said earlier, beginning of the class with the together. You said Darasu.
Yawasu is together.
Right.
Dawasu is we are together. Pazadahwash, they grew up together.
What is Zirusu?
Zirusu, give me, I have to conjugate it the right way. So tell me in English what you want to say.
I don't know what I want to say. I just heard Zarusu before. Do you live together?
No, it was Janok. Zarusu Zopsatla. They are speaking together.
Okay. Yeah.
I asked Janok where his father is. He said he's speaking to my teacher. And I said, Acher Zarusu Zopsatla. They are speaking together with one another.
Okay. Okay. I thought you said Darasu, meaning.
That was in the story. They grew up together.
Okay, I'm just talking about the together part. I guess I got a little confused. With
I
that.
think you also asked Mehmet Ali if he was living with his parents or not. I think that's
yeah.
what we're referring to.
Fa fiosu fashipsawara. Fa, you guys, plural. Fiosu, you guys together. Fashipsawara. Fa fiosu fashipsawara. Do you guys live together? So, all right, guys, let's leave it there. I can't believe it's Thursday. I blinked and this week went by. I will see. This feedback is very helpful for me because we're taking a very well-documented method called TPRS. Most of TPRS research is on Romance languages, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, French, a little bit of German, a tiny bit of Spanish, Japanese, a tiny bit of Chinese, tiny bit of Arabic, but we're the only people obviously doing Circassian. So feedback like this is very helpful. I actually do have a syllabus. I actually do have a very well-defined set of things to learn to go from A0 to A1 to A2 and so on and so forth. And so what I'm almost done with figuring out how to put all these pieces together. The next thing I have to figure out is how do I, as one teacher, do this for so many more people? So a typical TPRS class is like 4 or 6 people. This class is 16. That's 2 to 3 times larger. So the other thing I struggle with is if I give each of you 1 minute to speak, if I give you 2 minutes to speak, that's 30 minutes right there. And you only had 2 minutes in a half an hour. So that's the other thing. I'll take that offline, but thank you guys for the feedback. And Haya, thank you for coming. I hope to see you next week. I hope to see all of you next week. Okay.
Coming up so.
Hope so.
It was interesting. Yeah.
It's interesting.